all this future. It takes little imagination and minimal effort to forecast the future of humanity with great accuracy. One need not be a master of philosophy nor a genius of science to look on humanity with tremendous distress for its future. The imperturbable optimist and the diffident pessimist alike both agree on the common prediction of the impending doom of humanity. The grim fate awaiting humanity is glaringly revealed in an array of clues illustrated in part by its dying planet. The Earth, home to humanity, is plagued with an uncontrollable climate crisis, a humanity-induced decay to its own home, but a nonetheless monstrous threat to its own existence. The slightest awareness of the impact of global warming, rising sea levels, the melting ice caps in the Arctic, and the many greenhouse-induced effects afflicting the planet offers very little hope to humanity. As menacing as this sounds, it is only one of many pathways to humanity's demise. Analogous to this threat is something even more cynical, a product of human ingenuity applied in a destructive manner to science. Humanity has equipped itself with machines poetically described as weapons of mass destruction to ensure its own annihilation. If the planet fails to kill off humanity with the climate crisis, this egregious and suicidal species has prepared for itself a mechanism to end its own existence in dramatic fashion reminiscent of dystopian literature. Upon applying its limitless intellect to the discovery that atoms possess latent abilities that could be harnessed to generate tremendous amount of energy, humanity inexplicably came to the conclusion that the most compelling application of this otherworldly discovery is to encapsulate this immense fission energy of certain atoms into thousands of destructive mechanical devices positioned at different locations in its home, Earth. Even more perplexing is the realization that the power to activate these devices have been put in the hands of other humans as themselves, filled with all forms of base emotions such as anger, jealousy, and hatred, any of which could be the trigger for humanity's demise by the activation of these nuclear bombs. Both of the aforementioned pathways to humanity's destruction puts humans as the initiator of this demise and consequently suggests that a change in the humanity's pernicious ideologies and suicidal thinking could well save the race and its planet from an unpleasant end. This is an ignorant hope, a fantasy based on fallacy, for the threats to humanity exist not just internally but externally as well, in diverse forms such as supervolcanoes, which is summarily the Earth of its own volition, pushing out blazing hot viscous liquid with temperature reaching unthinkable heights, ensuring no life form will be spared should the Earth choose to vomit this at scale. It is clear that the future of humanity is greatly threatened by an endless list of gruesome calamities, one of which is bound to happen. And if all this delay, there's still artificial intelligence, a global pandemic, or asteroid debris to finish off humanity in extraordinary fashion. Reflecting upon this horrifying truth about what the future holds for humanity has had a devastating effect on the human psyche, pushing humans to understandable extremes. They've designed coping mechanisms such as living in the moment, for the future for them is darker and more ominous than the present. Regrettably, suicides are not uncommon among them, for what is the joy of living in a world destined to crash and burn? Furthermore, humans are less and less interested in reproducing, for they envisage no future for their offspring, or if they do see a future, they wouldn't want anyone they love to be there. The entirety of humanity has a humongous shadow cast upon it, compelling them to live in a world where they see no future. But there exists a band of miscreants, a bunch of seemingly empathy-lacking, mindlessly delusional humans who, being fully aware of the fate that awaits humanity, show no hint of concern, nor reflection upon the sad epilogue to the story of humanity. Like comedians at a funeral, they are resolutely shunned and definitely out of place. They live neither as flies, knowing their moment and relevance is fleeting, nor as trees clinging to life for as long as possible. They are as satisfied in death as they are in life, as gratified by riches as they are by scarcity, as though unimpressed by the elements of nature. They slip through storms and dance through blazing fires. At first glance, one would declare them delusional, or their minds repressed as a coping mechanism to deal with the trauma of the impending doom of their species. But on a more attentive look, it is evident that their unspeakable joy is genuine, their enviable peace is tangible, and their selfless love sincere. This is in stark contrast to the behavioral expectations of a species awaiting its undetermined but inevitable desolation. This pack of bumbling fools live as though a different future awaits them than what is sure to happen to humanity. For humanity, the future is bleak, every day darker than the previous, each passing moment a step closer to its spectacular end by any of the aforementioned disasters. But for this comical cluster of psychopaths, it's the complete opposite. They awaken each day with their best still yet to come. The future through their eyes is an endless barrage of scintillating lights with not even a blink of darkness to be seen. A world filled with equality for all, a world without wars, a world without threat and consequently without fear. A world truly worthy of being called home. This is the future that awaits these unassuming freaks called Christians, for their hope runs so much higher. Their hope is in the light of the world, Jesus. He is their past, present, and future. He is their world.